Start the bloody show already.
Start the bloody fucking show already.
Boo, this is boring.
Boo. Before we even fucking start.
Is this what the kids still do?
Oh god, oh god.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, he's checking audio. He's a Scatman.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome
Hi.
back to the stream. I know it's been kind of weird. It's either been just me or just Kendra. This is the first time we've done one of these in probably
Maybe a month?
almost a month and a half.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. I think the last time we did anything was
Movie?
the deep dive.
Yeah.
I don't think
movie.
we've actually done like a what's new this week, shallow dip or anything.
I don't think so. John has been very busy.
I have. I got a little busy. Thankfully, it was a good kind of busy with some. I got a few gigs here in the area. I'm an actor and singer based in Florida. I got my first in-person gig in well over a year. It went very, very well. It tied me up a little bit, but now that we're slowing down just a little
Before it picks up again.
Yeah, it's gonna pick up again very soon, but it's okay.
So we're gonna take any time we have to get together and talk about stuff.
Talk about all sorts of stuff, all sorts of things, because we're already in the last week of May. There's not going to be a deep dive this month, but we do have some cool stuff planned going forward, so keep an eye out for that.
In lieu of a deep dive, I've just decided just right now that our deep dive for this month is an episode story that I am doing. On the mobile game episode, I'm going through like this playable story called Operation Quarterback. It's riveting. It's probably some of the best cinematic writing that I've encountered in the past 5 years. So it's really quite great. The first 2 chapters of that 15 chapter story are up on YouTube now if you want to go check it out. But yeah, so instead of a deep dive for this month at least, and to hold us over while John is a little bit busier pursuing his dreams and whatnot,
Like an asshole.
you can watch me read other people's stories out loud.
Yeah, I've checked out the first 2 myself.
I would certainly hope so. It'd be rude if you didn't.
Yeah, well, I did. I checked them out, and they're very, very funny. You can see some of the clips on TikTok, on Instagram,
We
all
should
the
add our
things.
TikTok to the...
Oh, fuck, we never did that. But anyway, we're going to hop right into, we have a slew of topics we want to get through today.
Yes.
The first one is what we've been watching this week. We've been catching up on some stuff, and we just started checking out the new Marvel show on Hulu, M.O.D.O.K.
Yes.
It is based on the character M.O.D.O.K, and it is produced by Jordan Blum of Blumhouse and Patton Oswalt, and also it's developed by the Robot Chicken guys.
I was going to say, I think Seth Green is
Yeah.
part of it, yeah. At first, when John was like, hey, do you want to check this out? I was like, well, on one hand, it's like Marvel stuff, which I tend to enjoy. But on the other hand, I remember not liking Robot Chicken very much, but also I was a child when it came out and was like on. So that's probably part of it. But it was the animation style that I think was really holding me back. It's why I didn't want to watch like any of South Park when I was a kid, because the animation style, I just couldn't, it was too different for me.
Yeah.
But I think after watching the first 2 episodes, we only have watched the first 2 episodes of M.O.D.O.K. 20 years will do stop motion animation good, because it looks fantastic and it's unique.
It looks
especially
really cool.
For Marvel. It's cool.
I mean, when I was a kid, I was watching all sorts of shit I shouldn't have watched.
I mean, me too. Just not stop motion stuff.
So I was a fan of Robot Chicken growing up, especially in my teenage years. So because I knew it was developed by the same company, I figured it was something I'd enjoy. I just thought it was a weird premise for a show for fucking M.O.D.O.K. Because M.O.D.O.K's a weird character.
Yeah, and I think this year, I think watching you play Avengers was my first intro into M.O.D.O.K. because he's a character in that.
Yeah.
And then after that game came out, there were a lot of like history of M.O.D.O.K. videos and stuff. So I would watch a little bit, and it's just, he's a weird dude. He's a
very
weird
strange
dude.
character.
And in most of it, he's like this very serious, I believe, like evil mastermind type of character. So it's very bizarre.
I think the perfect thing they could do is turn it into a comedy. Because like it's so outlandish of a villain of a character.
You can't take it seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I like what they did with him in Avengers, but like I shouldn't say couldn't, because I'm sure they could find a way. But it's very hard to introduce a character like that in a live action format. I don't know that the world is ready for that.
Yeah. And again, it kind of speaks to, I mean, I'm going a little off the cuff on this one, but it kind of speaks to that whole, like, people say that Marvel is like dominating every aspect of entertainment. They're everywhere all the time. And that's 100% fair. And I do agree with that. But in some ways, like, what other studio could have done this?
Yeah.
In 2021, come out with like a stop motion Robot Chicken inspired comic book villain show and have it be successful. I mean, we've only seen the first 2 episodes, but I think it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and it's like, this might just be the Marvel fangirl in me, but I mean, if it comes down to you need to put it behind superhero comic book characters to get something unique in our time out, then so be it.
I think it speaks to the 2 things. I think it speaks to the genre at large, that you can take the superhero genre, because it's basically its own genre at this point, and kind of plug it into whatever format, and it can work. It doesn't always work, but it can work.
We've got psychological thriller, we've got space time heist, we've got animated.
Yeah, and even within the animated realm, like, you can do something a little more, you know, adult oriented, like, let's say, Harley Quinn, or you can do a Robot Chicken style, you know, M.O.D.O.K series, and it works just fine.
Yeah.
And like I said, the campiness that they're approaching with it makes it work 100%.
Yeah, they're really leaning into it, which is the only way that you can do it.
Yeah, because I mean, M.O.D.O.K just, you know, this isn't really a spoiler if you're familiar with the character.
He's got a big head.
He got a big old head. But he just breaks into these weird, like, I must take over the universe.
Yeah.
Like just at random. He could be talking about, like, fucking milk or something.
Yeah.
He's like, this is M.O.D.O.K's milk.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens in the season. I've not watched it. There's 2 episodes.
Or maybe not yet. We just called something, actually.
But it's just that kind of camp that makes it so funny. If y'all check that out, let us know.
And also worth noting, 2 of the leads are Latina.
Yeah.
Which you don't see often.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. And we only saw him in 1 episode.
Yes.
But John Hamm as Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Perfect.
It's so fucking funny.
Just even his voice, perfect. He sounds like an asshole. It's perfect.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm a big fan of what they're doing so far. Yeah, that's definitely one I'm excited to keep checking out.
Yeah.
Staying in the world of animation. Yeah. The next thing we want to touch on is Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
We're going from Disney to Disney. So.
Yeah. It's like they have a monopoly. But hey, you know what? As long as it produces quality content I enjoy. No,
maybe not even then. But in the meantime, we're gonna talk about Bad Batch.
Yeah, since I can enjoy it, I will, but I'm not happy about it.
So for like complete clarity, neither John nor I have seen the Clone Wars animated series. That's what it's called, right?
Well, this is called the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars, yeah. And I understand that is good and introduces a lot of characters that are, especially now with The Mandalorian and everything that's coming after it, are becoming more and more important to this greater Star Wars story that they're weaving. But yeah, I just wanted to make everyone aware that we haven't seen the Clone Wars. So Bad Batch is kind of our first introduction into animated Star Wars stuff.
Right.
I mean, it is for me, but that's not saying a lot because I don't watch a lot of Star Wars stuff.
It came out at a weird time, like growing up. It was never fully on my radar for whatever reason, but I'm aware that it exists. I'm aware people enjoy it. I heard the final season is amazing.
Yeah.
So that I might have to go back and watch.
Especially after watching the Bad Batch. It's the same animation style. It's like continuation, right?
It's like a spinoff. Yeah. Spinoff / sequel series.
But yeah, we're halfway through the season? How many episodes are there?
Well, I don't know how many episodes are gonna be. Well, we're 4 episodes in now.
It feels like halfway.
It feels kind of like a halfway point.
Yeah. But, I mean, for someone who hasn't seen a lot of other Star Wars stuff, I really enjoy it so far.
Yeah, so just giving y'all a heads up. Here's a minor spoiler warning.
I think we're still in the part of it where we're not quite sure what is supposed to be set up in it, because this is happening right after. So
it takes place directly after. You can kind of say it's still happening. Yeah, during.
In the first episode, it's kind of as the.
Episode 3 is unfolding.
Old Republic? I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, please let me talk.
I don't know the timeline.
So the show kicks off with Order 66, which, for those of you who are familiar with Star Wars, knows that is the order Emperor Palpatine, Senator Palpatine, whatever you want to call him, at the time, issued for the clone army to execute all the Jedi. So, as far as we know, this series is still kind of taking place after those events. So while Obi-Wan is fighting Anakin, the Bad Batch is on the run. It really helps if you watch the movies.
I know. The only thing that I can put it into is like general before this cluster of movies, after this cluster of movies, or Mandalorian timeline, which we're too early for, so I'm lost.
Here's some money. Go see a Star War.
But anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's a
Me too.
really interesting concept. I like the first episode was kind of a nice longer episode.
Yeah, it was, 45 minutes?
Something like that.
Something around that. But the last few have been around 30.
Yeah, and speaking of The Mandalorian, the latest episode, here's your spoiler, but this was also in the trailer, so it's not too crazy.
Right.
This latest episode, we got introduced to Fennec Shand, who we all know was played by Ming-Na Wen in The Mandalorian, also voiced by Ming-Na Wen in this show. And of course, she was badass.
She was badass.
She was badass.
Oh, we won't tell you what she did, but she's badass.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it so far.
And I think we even mentioned like the possibility of maybe seeing other characters that we saw in The Mandalorian, because this is 7 years before, right? Girl.
I don't know that it's this is 7 years before.
What was it Mandalorian?
Mandalorian is 7 years after Return of the Jedi. The original trilogy.
What is that?
So episode 3 is the prequel. That's
what happened in Return of the Jedi? What governing body are we now under?
Well, that's when they that's when they finally beat Palpatine and fucking Darth Vader died and the Ewoks were celebrating.
So 7 years after the end of the Empire.
Yes, the New Republic finally took back over.
Why didn't you say that?
Because you've never seen the movie, so how
but I know that happened.
Oh my god!
Again, that's something that they brought up in Mandalorian, so I know that it happened.
I'm gonna eat my microphone.
But
anyway, we're enjoying it. Nonetheless,
the animation's beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because it's like
it looks painted.
Yeah, every frame just looks like a painting. It's really, really cool. Yeah. Anyway, y'all already saw my short review on the Mitchells versus the Machines on Instagram. So I didn't put it on the list. It's not on the lineup to talk about. I just wanted to mention we talked about beautiful animation. It just made me think of that. If y'all haven't watched the Mitchells versus the Machines, well, stay here. But after the stream, go watch that.
And it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, exclusively on Netflix.
And it's around how long? An hour and a half?
It's like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it's around 2 hours.
But it's well worth it.
It's a little slow in the beginning, I will say. I thought it was a little slow in the beginning, but it makes up for how much shit is happening.
I kind of didn't mind it, but that's just.
But it was good. It was really good. Yeah. It was really funny, unexpectedly funny.
Yeah.
For like a family comedy.
Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that one.
PG-rated family comedy, but
at another time. I'm excited to talk about this next topic. Dear Evan Hansen. So the trailer for the movie adaptation of Dear Evan Hansen, the hit Broadway musical, was released earlier in the week, and it drew quite the response online.
Yeah.
So I watched the trailer. I don't think Kendra watched it, but I watched it.
I did not watch the trailer.
I think it looks fine. I'll be honest. For anyone who is a Dear Evan Hansen fan, I apologize in advance. I'm not gonna shit on the musical or anything, but
or you for liking it.
No. One thing I will say before I get into Dear Evan Hansen, I, as a musical theater person, am just so happy about all the movie musicals that are coming out and that have come out in recent years. Just because, like, theater is so inaccessible to so many people. And, you know, not everyone can afford to pay a $500 plane ticket to go see a Broadway show that has a $300 ticket.
Right.
You know? Like...
And not even everybody can even buy a $150 ticket to go see it in person in their town if it goes to their town.
Yeah, if it happens to tour where they live.
Yeah.
Or around where they live. So if someone can pay $10 to go see something that so many other people love, that maybe they will love.
That maybe will spark an interest in musical theater in general outside of it. I feel like seeing maybe West Side Story or Rent when I was in high school is what got me introduced to musical theater as a whole. Yeah. So if I'm 100% on the same boat with you.
So even if I don't particularly love Dear Evan Hansen as a show, I am so glad that it's coming out as a movie because so many more people are going to be introduced to musical theater or exposed to musical theater because of it. So that said,
but
I have nenever been the biggest Dear Evan Hansen fan. I think a lot of the music is pretty. It all kind of sounds a little similar to me. So it's just not my favorite. I'm
in the same boat. I think I mentioned this to John once. It sounds like, because it's not my personal taste in music, it sounds like songs that I would skip on the radio, which again, that's not saying that it's bad music. That it's poorly written, that it's poorly performed either, but it's just like not my personal taste. So I just can't. Girl, who in the hell is...
You hear that woof boy?
That dog sounded like they were inside of our apartment.
Stella, was that you? So the trailer came out, and it looks fine. It kind of looks like an indie teen drama, you know, which makes sense because it's directed by the same person who directed Perks of Being a Wallflower. I can't remember his name right now.
I didn't watch that either.
I watched it. I like that movie. So it kind of looks like that.
Except for one glaring...
Except for one glaring problem is that their main teen looks like he very much looks like a 30-year-old.
How old is he?
Ben Platt?
Yeah.
Ben Platt in real life. By the time this movie comes out, he will be 28. So he is currently 27.
Yeah. They tried. He's completely clean shaven.
Yeah, he grew his hair out. I thought it was a wig, but he grew his hair out.
He has like dewy, like little boy cheeks and stuff, but...
And I don't know if they attempted to do like a CGI thing. Some people would thought that like, oh, he looks kind of weird. And I'm like, I don't know that it is a CGI thing. I think he just looks older than everyone.
De-aged him. Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer like you mentioned.
But you saw pictures and...
Yeah, I haven't seen it in motion, so maybe it's a little better in motion. But the pictures that I saw were just like, it's like an undercover cop.
Yeah.
Going into a high school for a sting.
Yeah, it feels weird. It looks weird. It feels weird.
And at first you thought that maybe that was just you.
Yeah.
But then you went on Twitter and I think it was trending.
Yeah.
And it was hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, there were
all
articles.
talking about,
I saw BuzzFeed do an article. I think Variety did an article.
All talking about how old he looked.
Yeah. Because,
Not old. Older than the teenager he was supposed to be playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Older than... Didn't he look older than a lot of the other people in the cast?
Yeah, so Caitlin Dever. I think that's her name. Her last name. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Dever or Dever.
Yeah, but she looks young. She looked young in Booksmart.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't think she's actually that young.
She's like 23, 24.
Okay, she is that young then.
So she means she's young. She's a little younger than
Yeah.
Ben Platt. She's not that much younger than him, but she looks younger than him.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't help. Believe me,
Motherfucker, you look dirty.
you can't help if you
Looking
look
old.
younger or older. It's just he looked so much notably older than, especially the kid who was playing his best friend.
My teen best friend.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I think the thing that gets me the most about it is that it would have been the perfect opportunity for a young, up and coming singer, actor.
Yeah.
This could have been their big break.
Before the pandemic shut everything down, the kid who was playing Evan Hansen on Broadway was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was their first actual 16-year-old. And I'm not saying you have to be 16,
Right.
But you should be able to play 16 because playing it on stage is a much different thing than playing it on screen. Because on screen there's only
camera's
so
here.
they get all up in there.
They get all up in your room.
On stage, the lights are blasting you, and
People
there's
are seeing you from
a
50
distance.
yards. Yeah.
So it's not crazy.
But like, what a great opportunity that would have been for that kid or any other kid. I don't know. I think that's the thing that gets me the most about it. I understand if you're making any kind of project, you want a name that people recognize and are excited to see in that role. I fully understand that that's what they did with Ben Platt.
Yeah, I mean, he won the Tony Award for Best Actor, Best Lead in a Musical.
Off the back of Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, for playing Evan Hansen. So like, it makes sense. You want him involved, but like I mean, I don't know. It's like if they would have made In the Heights with Lin-Manuel as Usnavi.
Yeah, no.
Because Usnavi's supposed to be 24. What are
the news?
Yeah, but like Tom Holland. Tom Holland, I will say, he does not look like he's in his going on. He's still in his early 20s.
Yeah, but I will say in Civil War, he looked young.
Yeah, in Civil War, he did. I mean, I think he was 19 when he filmed Civil War, and he was supposed to be playing a 15-year-old.
15, yeah.
So
that's not that far off.
Yeah, and so it wasn't like a 10-year difference.
Tom Holland is 28. That can't be right. He can do young. Yeah, exactly. But he also has like a younger looking face. I don't know.
If Evan Hansen was a college kid,
right? That
I could believe.
We're getting to,
but a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. My 23-year-old brother looks like he's damn 13 years old. So
Tom Holland was born June 1st of 1996. Tom Holland is 24 years old.
Damn.
So
okay, you gave me a heart attack. I was like, Tom Holland is 28.
Yeah, because I'm
that
older
almost
than
ruined my life.
Than my boy Tom. He's not my boy. I don't know him in real life, but
I'm older than Tom.
And it's not a criticism. I'm not trying to be like ageist or it's not a criticism on Ben Platt himself. It's just it looked weird. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about this particular story. So Ben Platt did respond to these, and I think this is where he messed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, this is on our radar because we're like into theater and shit. So this isn't like news. This isn't big news for anyone who's not following this sort of thing. In a now deleted tweet, Ben Platt said this: "Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the outpouring of trailer love yesterday. The film required me to revisit areas of personal pain, so seeing people excited and moved makes it so deeply worth it. P.S. To the randos being jerks about age, read this great article and or watch Grease.
And you know what with his response?
I know where you're going with this.
The first part, glorious. Great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love that you get to revisit areas of your personal pain. I mean, I don't love that, but whatever works, I guess. And then the PS to the randos being jerks about age. First of all, way to sound young. Second of all, he says, go watch Grease, basically. A film renowned for how fucking old everyone in it looked and was.
And here's the thing with
schoolers.
Grease. Here's where Grease did it right. What Grease did, which makes it not as weird, is that literally everyone, if you cast everyone a little older, for film it's still a little weird, but it doesn't look as weird.
Right. It looks
because
like you
everyone
were
looks
going
the same
for
age.
something. Yes.
But it's just you just have this guy who just looks a little bit older than everyone else in the movie. And that just, again, it's not speaking to how good or bad the movie may be. I think it's going to be fine. I think anyone who likes Dear Evan Hansen will probably like the movie based on the trailer. It's
Funny
just
thing
a
that
quirky
happened.
little story that was out there this week. And the reactions were varied. But a lot of people seem excited about it as well.
And I'm excited for them. But I will not be
Have
saying
you
it.
watched Glee? So let's get back on track a little bit.
Anyway, yes. So someone brought up Cruella. Cruella,
Cruella, because her, like, cruel.
Cruella DeVille. Cruella DeVille. Does anyone remember when Lalaine from Lizzie McGuire sang that song?
Yeah, Lil Wayne.
That took me a second.
Fuck, that's funny.
Close to Lil Wayne. Lane. Did you unplug your mic?
I can hear myself. I can see myself.
Yeah, you're back. God damn, that joke was so funny. You almost killed John. Lane, not Lil Wayne.
Lalaine is an actor and singer from
She played
Lizzie
Miranda
McGuire.
in Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. Cruella comes out this weekend, and all of the early reviews on it have been overwhelmingly positive.
I'm kind of glad to hear it because it looks cool.
You know, this was when I saw the trailer, I was like, the very first trailer they put out months ago, I thought it was funny because I'm like, this looks like Disney's Joker.
Yeah,
But
that was fair.
the more trailers they put out, like on like that I would see like on Hulu and stuff, I'm like, this movie looks kind of good.
Yeah.
But I was like, I mean, it's, what do I know? And then the reviews come out and everyone's like, this movie's pretty good.
And I don't even know, is that just going in with low expectations? I don't know.
Not necessarily.
Because on one hand, you have Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, and they're both fantastic actors. So you would assume that it's going to be good. But I don't know. Still, even knowing that they were in it, I was still kind of like, this might not be good.
And I know we were talking a little bit about it yesterday. Academy Award winner, I believe, Emma Stone. I think she can pick and choose what she wants to do at this point. I don't think she would necessarily go into a project
just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Or for the paycheck.
Yeah, I don't think she needs to.
Yeah.
So I think she would jump into something if she thought it had strong legs. I mean, most actors are that way, but then you have, like, even though I love him, you have Nicolas Cage, who will often just do shit just for the check. And
Good
you know
for
what?
Nick Cage for making that literally his brand.
Well, guess because he went bankrupt.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not-
but like it's not even to the point where people are like, "Oh, poor Nick Cage, he's so desperate." Now it's just like, hell yeah, it's Nick Cage doing another weird bad movie.
Yeah.
It became his brand.
And if a movie happens to be good and he's in it, they're like, yeah, well, don't fucking sleep on Nick Cage.
But also,
like,
that's the thing. Nick Cage is a great actor. Anyway,
I know.
We can't talk about Nick
I love him in
Cage for too
Spider-Verse.
long.
Yeah, I'm hearing really, really good things about Cruella. I'm debating on seeing it sometime next week.
Maybe. Yeah, I would go see it with you. That's the
Oh,
thing.
you're not invited. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'll fucking go see it alone.
No.
But here's the thing is, what is it? Disney Premiere Plus and in theaters?
Yeah.
It would be cheaper to go see it in theaters than
Yeah.
for two people to spend $30 to see it with Disney
Yeah,
Premiere.
this is definitely one that would, now that theaters are open, well, some theaters are open again. It makes more sense to go.
And
out
we're
to the
both
movie.
vaccinated, so we feel a little bit more comfortable being in
Yeah.
a movie theater. But yeah,
But yeah, well,
that's-
if we happen to see it, we'll do a review on it. Oh.
I never really thought about a backstory or like if she had a reason for things. You mentioned Joker, and that was actually really appropriate because my whole thought about Cruella was she was evil for evil's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, this should still be an interesting movie. I agree. I don't even think I've ever seen any Dalmatians movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
You didn't see the live action one with
No.
Glenn Close? She was
No.
fantastic.
I hear she was fantastic.
Yeah, she was great in both of them. She was in both of them.
Oh yeah, there were two. Fuck. Yeah, I never saw him. So like, I never give Cruella very much thought. So much so that I don't know how to pronounce her name. But yeah, I'm interested to see like this is how this regular girl became fucking evil.
Yeah.
And wanted to kill puppies.
And I think, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason why I'm not as worried about it being like, oh, well, she's actually like a good person. Based on the trailer, she does not look like a good person.
Yeah,
and I think
and again,
Disney...
you can't turn killing puppies into being a good person.
I think Disney learned from the mistake of Maleficent.
Mistake?
Of like, that movie's whole thing was like...
She wasn't bad as people thought.
Yeah.
Kind of like Wicked.
So not necessarily a mistake, but I think people were kind of like a little... I think people who were fans of the villain Maleficent were a little disappointed because they're like, oh, she was like this big, awesome villain, and they kind of made her like their version of like an anti-hero fairy godmother type of character.
Their version of the lady's name in Wicked. Idina Menzel.
Alphaba?
Alphaba, yes.
Adele Dazeem.
Aw.
Yeah,
Damn.
I know.
I heard that the Maleficent movies were pretty good, but I didn't even consider it from like a...
I heard the sequel was pretty bad.
Oops. But I never thought of it from like you're gooding a bad character.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but basically the movies that this movie I've heard is being compared to is Joker and The Devil Wears Prada.
You've never even seen The Devil?
I've never seen Devil Wears Prada.
Listen, okay, no offense. Okay, everyone just look at me right now. You can't take what he says for any value because he's never seen The Devil Wears Prada. I'm sorry. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Look at me. How can you trust his opinion on anything?
I was raised Catholic, ma'am. I couldn't watch that movie. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say that's a horrible excuse.
But yeah, we'll let you know if we check out Cruella in theaters, and we'll probably do a stream or a review on it, something.
We'll throw it into something.
All right, so let's move on a little bit.
Yeah.
A movie that's been making lots of waves recently, Knives Out 2. Before we get into the cast, just a reminder: Netflix bought the rights to the franchise for over $400 million. I think it was like 450.
I always forget about that.
So
before it was an Amazon.
Huh?
Wasn't it an Amazon original?
No. Amazon was known for having it like the streaming rights to the first one.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't. That wasn't like an Amazon original.
So Netflix bought the rights flat out, not just the streaming rights.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I mean, Knives Out will probably still be on Amazon until those streaming rights expire.
Yeah.
But Knives Out 2 and 3 will appear on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they'll probably come out in theaters in a limited capacity as well. But just a reminder that they paid crazy money. And I think Daniel Craig also is getting crazy money for those movies because he's such a big part of it.
The best part, some would argue.
Yeah. So the cast so far includes Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., most recently Kate Hudson, and of course Daniel Craig returning as Benoit Blanc. What a cast so far.
I mean, first and foremost, don't get it twisted. I knew that Daniel Craig was in it, of course. But all you had to do was say Catherine Hahn. I'm fucking there. I'm there. Catherine Hahn in anything, I'm there.
Hello, Netflix. I'm there.
I'm fucking there, Netflix. I have a conspiracy theory about this movie, and you do too, actually. I'll say mine first, though, because it pertains to the cast. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Kate Hudson even, I think, all sing. Is this a musical? I don't know.
I would love for Knives Out 2
to
take place in like a fucking jazz bar.
Yeah, I don't know, but
God.
that was my conspiracy theory. After you told me that, I think you told me Janelle Monáe and Leslie Odom Jr., you told me that they were both in it at the same time, and I was like, that's interesting. And then Catherine Hahn, and I was like, So that's my little conspiracy theory.
Oh, so it's a budget movie, and by budget, I mean no, but their budget is that infinity symbol, apparently.
That's bonkers.
But I mean, it's very similar to the first movie. The first movie was pretty stacked with
Chris Evans,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I could only think of Jamie
that dude
Oliver.
from Django Unchained.
That other scary dude.
Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas. That's not who I was talking about. She's not scary at all. The guy from fucking Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
The bad guy from
Patrick
Aquaman.
Wilson?
Who?
Patrick Wilson?
Was he the bad guy? No. Oh, it's not Aquaman. It's Superman.
Oh, Michael Shannon.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, woman. Those are two different people.
I'm so sorry, I got confused.
But anyway, my theory on this.
This one's wild, folks. This one's wild.
This one is wild. This has no merit. I won't say that right now, except for Johnny P's gut feeling. Part of me thinks this movie's already filmed and that they are announcing all of these fucking cast members, and then the very last announcement they make is like a trailer.
I mean, that would be wild.
It's probably not true, only because they just announced that they purchased the rights not that long ago. But like, man, that would be cool.
I guess.
It's probably not true, though.
Yeah, I don't think... when he told me that one, I was like, boy, you're out of your damn mind. So I don't think that's true
But
either.
it's just because they were announcing new people every single day for like a week straight.
I think they were just getting their contracts signed, sealed, delivered.
But I'm very excited about the cast. I mean, that's a fucking killer cast, you know, because especially for Catherine Hahn, you know, she's probably at the height of her popularity at this point. I mean, because she's had a pretty good career,
long, steady career, but now it's like.
But WandaVision, I think, just kind of launched her. If you didn't know before,
now
you know now. Because she was great in like, especially like on Parks and Rec.
Step
that whole
Brothers.
season, I love the season she's in. I think
she was
season
great
4.
in Step Brothers.
Yeah, she was in Step Brothers. Yeah.
She's great in everything she does. We could go on, but yeah. So I'm also very excited. I loved the first one. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I loved the first one. So again, I would have seen it regardless. As long as Daniel Craig stayed as Benoit Blanc, who was the best part of that movie, I will watch the second one and the third one. So just everyone else added, that's just cherry on top.
Yeah, I mean, because you have Leslie Odom Jr., who's fresh off of a very, prominent Oscar nomination. Janelle Monáe, who's always great. Edward Norton, who, he's there. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's great in everything.
Yeah.
And Dave Bautista, like, I don't know. It's
Dave Bautista also at the height of his career, I would say.
He would be the bodyguard of this jazz club.
He's the bouncer.
Oh my god. If we're right, I'm gonna need Ryan Johnson to pay me some money
for
predicting the story. Anyway, I'm very excited about this movie, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. Just because the one thing I want to see them kind of do, I wouldn't say better, but just a little bit better. Even though it's still enjoyable, you can kind of predict who the bad guy was in the first one.
That's the thing.
I like that the cast is a little more. It's a more diverse group of characters, not just in like.
I genuinely. Yeah. Reading the names, I couldn't guess who the bad person is.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
It'd be stupid if it was Catherine Hahn, I'll tell you that much.
Because it was Agatha all along.
That'd be so dumb.
But yeah, so having a wider range of people in age, gender, race, like, just, it kind of makes it a little more like, oh, who done it? But yeah, I'm very excited. So and I hope that's the one thing they tighten up with the story is that you don't automatically know.
But it's kind of just the same thing as WandaVision and the same thing as Captain America Winter Soldier. Anything that involves theorizing, you rule out the most obvious thing because you don't think it's going to be that. And then for both those cases, for all of those cases, it was that. So it's like, I don't know. Even though it's obvious, I didn't think it was who I thought it was when I watched the first Knives Out. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, of course it's not that person. They're too obviously the bad guy.
And then it happened to be. Yeah. I mean,
it was still good. It was still enjoyable.
I still enjoyed the hell out of it. So we're wrapping up here. But I wanted to end on a slightly different thing than what we usually do. We usually just go story after story, but I wanted to bring something new to the table.
A discussion topic, if you will.
Here, we have a little discussion we want to do now. What is a movie or series that doesn't get enough love?
And this is a question for everyone.
What's a movie or series you think doesn't get enough love?
I will say a movie. I'm very passionate about this movie because I think it was severely underappreciated in its time, and I know that it has grown a cult following, but that does not excuse the atrocities of what 2010 did to my boy, one of my favorite movies of all time, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Sorry if that's cringy to say, because apparently that's like something that a lot of young straight white men say, but Scott Pilgrim is generally one of my favorite movies of all time. Edgar Wright directed it, so you know it's going to be visually...
It's a banger.
It's a banger. It had so many like cool comic book and video game, like old school 8-bit video game like sounds and animation, and it was insane. Like, it was visually insane. And then on top of that, great soundtrack. Yeah. Because there was a lot of original music made for it, and there was a lot of covers. Brie Larson was in it.
You had a fucking cast in that.
Stunner cast. So you had Michael Cera.
Yeah. Leading man of our time.
He was Scott Pilgrim. We had Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Come on.
Anna Kendrick was there.
Aubrey Plaza was there. Brie Larson. Mae Whitman.
Chris Evans. Brandon
Chris
Routh.
Evans. Who?
Brandon Routh. He was Superman.
Yes, the vegan.
Yes.
Jason Schwartzman. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't
Macaulay Culkin's little brother.
Macaulay Culkin's little brother, whose name is
Kieran Culkin. Yeah.
He was hilarious in it.
Yeah.
The first time I had ever seen him in anything. Anyway, so basically, you had a banger cast, banger director, amazing visuals and visual effects. Some of the effects that they did were not CG, they were practical.
Practical, yeah.
It was just underappreciated in its time. Sure, you could make a case that perhaps representation-wise, it was a little lacking. It was a very, very light cast, if you will.
But nonetheless, it's a fucking good movie.
It's a good movie. If it had come out in 2021 or 2020, it maybe would have been a little bit more appreciated. I think it was ahead of its time.
I agree. I did not. I was one of the many people who did not see it when it came out. I know, shame on me.
I saw it in theaters, like opening night.
You know, it was one of those movies I kind of kicked myself for waiting so long to watch because I'm like, fuck, this is a good movie.
Also, imagine that in the theaters. It was awesome.
It was just recently re-released too, but the theaters weren't open near us at the time.
Yeah, because it was
mostly like an
10th
overseas
anniversary.
thing. Yeah, even though it has like a bigger following now, I think it's probably one that's still not as mainstream as we think it is.
I agree. Also, you can't really find it anywhere. Like, I don't know where it.
I think it's still streaming on not Hulu, Netflix.
Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix.
So if you haven't seen it, you have to check it out.
Yeah, I have to echo all your statements and sentiments there. I really do love Scott Pilgrim. I'm actually also staying in the realm of graphic novel adaptations. A franchise that I feel it gets love. I don't think it gets quite the love it deserves.
The Dark Knight series.
Yeah, because that doesn't have a huge fan base. No, the Kingsman series. We just recently rewatched both the Kingsman movies, and I do thoroughly enjoy the second one. But just watching that first one again, I'm like, man, this is a cool fucking movie.
I think it's an interesting spy movie, and I mean, there aren't too many of them.
You don't see them. You don't, because anytime you see a spy movie now, it's like a comedy or it's James Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love the Daniel Craig series.
But the only other thing I can think of is Get Smart with fucking.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, with Steve Carell.
You know, or like My Spy.
My Spy, yeah.
Yeah, so like they're all comedies.
And even Kingsman is also a comedy.
Yes, but if it feels like a legit spy movie.
Right, the parts that are comedic aren't the spy work or the gadgets or the villain or anything like that. It's just like funny dialogue and stuff. Yeah, and camera work. The camera
and that's because
insane.
it's Matthew Vaughn, who's known for doing a lot of like X-Men First Class and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
The Kingsman: The Secret Service. I was like, man, I haven't seen this in years, and just rewatching it, I'm like, damn, this is so cool, and it's very British. For anyone who may not be familiar with it, it's incredibly British. But the action sequences are insane. There's the church scene. Oh my god! Like I could just watch that scene over and over. I mean, it's brutal, disturbing, but it's like a
faux one shot panning, like crazy.
It's so
in the
well
second
done.
one, the opening one with the car.
Yeah.
And they have like interviews with what is it called? The B team. Because you have like the A team and they go out and they film stuff. And then you have the B team. The V
That's
team.
not even A team. That's Indiana Jones.
It's like the second unit, right? And they go out and film like action stuff.
Yeah.
And the second unit director did an interview talking about how they filmed this one particular scene. And he's talking about like, we had to like rip off the door so the camera could go in like this and then follow him. And it was just like insane.
But the first one did pretty well. The second one didn't do as well in theaters as the first. And then they were kind of confused as to what to do with the franchise. And they have that prequel coming out. Let's see when that comes out.
I can look.
Thank you. Yeah, so they have another installment. It's called The King's Man, which is, supposed to be well before the events of the first one.
I mean, for the second one, what they did to progress the story was super interesting. And they introduced like this whole new side of the Kingsman service that we hadn't seen before. And they even kind of did a little bit of like, oh, this is what happened before to set up these things. So I think it makes sense to go back. Plus, it'll be really cool to see like a period piece Kingsman movie.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I'm still excited about it. And I believe Matthew Vaughn is returning to direct that as well. So I'm there already. What? Did it already come out?
No. It says that it's expected to be released December 22nd, 2021, which is kind of pee-pee-poo-poo because that's a very long time away. Matthew Vaughn is still directing it and co-wrote the screenplay. But, girl, I didn't realize Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. Honey, I'm there. I mean, I was there anyway, but now I'm even more there.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, Stanley Tucci's in it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Ralph Fiennes?
Oh, Voldemort.
Yeah, he's in it. Charles Dance. Tom Hollander, which I don't know who that is, but that's very interesting.
Tom Hollandest?
His name is so close to Tom Holland. Daniel Bruhl. I didn't know. Aw, his little dance. He's so cute. Wow. Okay, I'm excited. December 22nd. That's so long away. Oh, I guess it's only really like 6 months. But
yeah,
damn, that's gonna be good.
Yeah. See, my only thing is that like I like Taron Egerton and those guys, so I would kind of want to see them come back. But also, this cast sounds pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind hanging out with them for a little bit. That's my pick for something that doesn't get quite the love I feel it deserves, because I really, really enjoy those movies.
And I 100% agree with you. Even if you're like not big into like spy stuff, which I can understand, if you look at it as like an action movie, even somewhat like a heist movie, and then if you want to just like focus on the artistry of it, the camera work is crazy throughout the whole thing. It's like being on a roller coaster.
It's cool because really, just like Scott Pilgrim probably fits more into the mold of like a traditional comic book movie, but Kingsman is technically a comic book movie.
Yeah.
But it's so different than, when we think of comic books, we think of like superpowers and like all this other stuff. We don't think of like
the Scott Pilgrims and the fucking Eggies.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say that the first Kingsman was probably Taron Egerton's like breakout role.
Yeah.
And every time you go back and watch it, you just want to watch Rocket Man.
Y'all, I don't know if that movie gets enough love. That movie should get all the love in the world, too. That's another one.
Yeah, Rocket Man was a good one.
Y'all, if y'all haven't seen Rocket Man, if for no other reason, just to watch Taron Egerton perform in that role.
Yeah. Go watch Kingsman and then turn around and watch Rocket Man.
Yeah, he's so fucking talented.
Yeah. Oh,
I know.
And you get to hear him sing.
He does all his own singing.
He do a sing. Real good.
Yeah, maybe he'll be in Knives Out, too.
Maybe he'll be in fucking Knives Out, too, honestly.
He's been rumored for a long time to be popping up in Little Shop, the reboot of Little Shop.
That would make sense. I don't know. He's going
to be a brolic as Seymour.
I was going to say as Hooms, because isn't Seymour supposed to be like a little like weeb?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
It's me, a nerd. I'm fucking jacked.
I think the only confirmed, like legit confirmed casting in that is Billy Porter as Audrey 2.
Yeah.
But the rest of the cast, which I think is actually set in place, they just haven't announced it. I think it's Taron Egerton as Seymour, Scarlett Johansson as Audrey, and Chris Evans as the dentist. Which Chris Evans, maybe this is just a passion of his. He's been talking about wanting to do a musical for years. So
yeah, on the Little Shop of Horrors IMDb page, which I don't know how trusted this can be, but it also reflects those castings.
Yeah. So I think they're just withholding the official announcement.
We know that Chris Evans can play bad, so I mean, like evil.
He's a bad boy.
So that's okay. Scarlett Johansson, can she sing?
I think she's sang in stuff before.
Interesting. Audrey.
I mean, and if nothing else, they'll change the key for her so she can sing some stuff a little lower. But yeah, Kingsman.
For your thoughts.
This has been thoughts for your thoughts. Unfortunately, Kingsman isn't streaming anywhere. Well, the only place you can find it on streaming is if you have either YouTube TV or like Hulu with live TV. That's really the only way you can watch the Kingsman series. I actually just bought both movies on Blu-ray at Target for like $15. So I mean, it's 4K UHD with the regular Blu-ray and a digital download for $15.
Yeah, it's
like,
not bad at all.
Yeah, so if you're not trying to get another streaming service or pay more for a streaming service you already have, like I said, I bought mine at Target. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon or something like that. But if you're willing to spend a little money, but I want them to keep making these movies, so like go ahead and buy those.
And also, I want to keep rewatching them.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have the copies than hope that I have whatever streaming service they're on.
Shit, I might watch that tonight.
No, we won't.
I might.
You can. No, I'm not.
Anyway, but yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what your favorite underloved movie is. I don't know a good way to say that.
It's a movie that you saw that you don't think gets the love that it deserves.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Let's go with that one. I think that's it.
Folks.
All right.
That's all, folks.
Oh my God. All right. We'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. All right. See you next time.